Welcome to the Virtual Foundry podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Virtual Foundry podcast. This is Volume 4, Episode 2. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. The time is 10:38 a.m. And the temperature today is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a whole 2 degrees for you Celsius users. We've been really hanging around this temperature for the entire month of January. It's been weird, but also very nice. Today, we're going to have a conversation with Austin Triggs, who is part of the team here at the Virtual Foundry. I'm Trisha Cease, president of the Virtual Foundry, and with me today is Austin Triggs, the Virtual Foundry's resident nerd. Say hello, Austin.
Hi, everybody.
So, Austin, as you know, I always give the time and temperature at the beginning of these podcast videos. And when I'm talking with someone, interviewing somebody new, I like to know time and temperature where they are, but we are in the same building. So what is happening in your neck of the building?
I've got a printer going behind me. That's about it.
Okay, so you have a lot of things going on behind you. Tell us everything that you do here at the Virtual Foundry.
I manufacture the filler the 3D printers that we make. I do a little bit of R&D, and I answer all of our partner innovators' questions.
Super. I know you also do a lot of 3D printing. You have a lot of experience with 3D printing in this format. How did you get started with that?
So my introduction to 3D printing was with a Stratasys Uprint SE at the Stoughton Fab Lab. I was in the first class that ever got to go into the Fab Lab, and they haven't gotten rid of me. I'm still there today, and that was fall of 2013.
Well, I like to hear that it's hard to get rid of you because you're a very important part of the team here. So you've been working with 3D printing for a while. Tell us about your experience working with Filamet, metal, glass, and ceramic 3D printing filaments that come right here from the Virtual Foundry.
So I'll start a little bit with just like the beginning of 3D printing for me was a little interesting. The plastics that I worked with were a little bit, the prints didn't come out great every time. And I was surprised when I started here. It was easy right from the beginning. And I get great prints pretty easily out of all of our machines. It's still the plastics that can be tricky.
Oh, what kind of printers are you the most familiar with? What ones do you use most often?
At the Fab Lab, we have MakerBots and Ultimakers. Here we have, this is an Ender 5 Plus behind me. We have Ender 5s, the Virtual Foundry 3D printer, Ender 3s, and at home I have an Ender 3, 2 Monoprice Select Minis, and an M3D Micro.
So you printed on a lot of different 3D printers.
Yes.
Tell me, Austin, what has been your favorite thing about working with Filamet?
I'd say the ease of use and just how cool it is. When I actually met Brad, he showed me a couple of parts, and I bring this up all the time. He showed me a couple of little Pokemon figures that he printed, and I told him right away when he showed them to me, no, I don't believe you. Those are not 3D printed. And he actually offered me a tour here so he could prove that they're 3D printed. I believe him now.
You saw it with your, yes, you believe him now for sure. And you're doing it all the time yourself too. Austin, what's your favorite thing about working at the Virtual Foundry?
The products and the people. I love what I do because I'm surrounded by great people who are supportive, and if I need help, they'll always help me. and I'm always here to help if anyone needs help. Um, but also, I believe in the products, and they're good. They're they're yeah.
I agree. It's super fun. We do have a fun culture here. And the product is really amazing. We are changing the world with it, and it's a really exciting thing to be a part of. Now, you mentioned the Fab Lab earlier, and I want to hear more about that, along with some other things that you have going on. Like you have a podcast of your own. I think you do some photography too here and there. So tell us about the Fab Lab first, and then some of those other things that you have going on.
So like I mentioned before, I started in the Fab Lab as a student. It was my sophomore year of high school in the fall of 2013 when they opened. I graduated in 2016, and my graduation day was Sunday, and I was in the Fab Lab planning Summer Excel summer school the next day on Monday.
Hey,
And
wait, tell us what Fab Lab means. What is that?
Fab Lab is fabrication laboratory. It originated at MIT, and it's kind of just the founder of the Fab Lab here in Stoughton likes to describe it as a makerspace on steroids,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they've got all the like they don't just stop at maybe a 3D printer and a CNC. We have three lasers. I want to say 8 3D printers right now. No, 9 3D printers. Uh, 2 small format CNC mills, a large format ShopBot CNC, a vinyl cutter, and a new one on the way. And then a full design lab with 25 computers and all the design software you could ever want,
Wow, great.
and a plasma cutter.
When that's a lot of stuff. It's a huge benefit to the Stoughton school system, and I believe Stoughton High School was the first high school in the state of Wisconsin to install a Fab Lab. Is that right?
Yep, and they were the second in the nation.
Nice. So it's really fun to be a part of all of these cutting edge technologies, and you get to do it in lots of different areas of your life. So the Fab Lab is installed in Stoughton High School. I did do a podcast episode fairly recently. I'll link it here in the video, with Halmstad University in Sweden also working through a Fab Lab environment. So Fab Lab is a pretty large organization. And then other institutions install a Fab Lab into their own institution. So how about this podcast that you have going on? Tell us about that.
So I have a podcast that was started in September of 2020 called The Horrible Podcast. And the reason we named it that was because I have a friend who I didn't really get to talk to very much anymore. So it was an excuse to just talk to him once a week for a little while. And one thing that we noticed is every time we would chat, we just have random facts and stuff. I'd have a random tidbit of information that I learned, and we just talk about those. And I said, hey, why not just record it? And then we'll publish it to the internet, and everybody else can listen to what we talk about and our random babbling.
Where can people find this awesomeness?
The Horrible Podcast can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Overcast, Spotify, Anchor.fm, thehorriblepodcast.com, and I'm missing a couple, but it's everywhere.
Wow, great. How many episodes do you have out?
I think it's at 55. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus recently, just because editing takes a little more time than we expected.
Yeah. Wow, super fun. And have you been doing any photography? Is that an active hobby for you?
Yeah, not recently. The last time I actually got out and dedicated some time to taking photos was actually just over a year ago. but I need to get back out there and do that. Um, Funnily enough, I went to school for photography and videography, and I work in STEM full time.
Yes. Well, your photography skills show themselves in our online shop because you've done all of our product photos. Austin, if people want to get a hold of you directly, how can they get a hold of you?
You guys can email me at austin@thevirtualfoundry.com, and my direct work line is 608-440-8740.
Austin has a lot of really great technical knowledge, especially on the printing side, and he has an intimate knowledge of the 3D printers that the Virtual Foundry makes and sells, since he's the one who puts those together. So he's a really great resource for that printing side of the process and helping you make sure that you have everything that you need to move forward with your own metal 3D printing adventures. Now, Austin, I do have one more very important question for you before we wrap up today.
Go for it.
What do you call a pile of cats?
I don't know. What do you call a pile of cat?
You call it a mountain. So, hey, everybody, if you've got a cool project that you would like to show off in this format, or if you have a topic that you'd like us to do a deep dive on via podcast, let us know at info@thevirtualfoundry.com. We would love to do a podcast with or for you. You can find us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, all the great places. Oh, and TikTok. Austin, do you have anything else you'd like to say before we close?
Just keep making.
Right on. Happy printing, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Today, we're going to talk to, okay, hold on.